Canada stand up for Canada with me?
At the beginning of the year, Canada's Conservatives had a huge lead, and their leader, Pierre Poilievre, looked certain to be the country's next Prime Minister. But when the votes were finally counted, the Liberal Party and their new leader, Mark Carney, remained in power for the next 5 years. It was a victory shaped by a blend of strategic leadership change, a campaign that focused on stability, and a big external catalyst, US President Donald Trump. When the former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England succeeded Justin Trudeau as the head of the Liberal Party earlier this year, he was untested politically. But Mark Carney was seen as a steady, diplomatic hand. Canadians believed he had the credentials to tackle the cost of living crisis. They also saw him as someone who was being bullied and harassed by Donald Trump. So Carney focused his election campaign on the American president, all the way till his victory speech.
America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen. And I want to
He even set out to dictate terms to Donald Trump.
When I sit down with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations. And it will be with our full knowledge that we have many, many other options than the United States to build prosperity for all Canadians.
The Conservatives peaked in polling at 44.8% on January 20th, the day of Trump's inauguration. But the party kept falling after that. After coming back to power, Trump went after one of America's closest allies, slapping tariffs and openly and repeatedly threatening its sovereignty without any provocation.
I love the Canadian people. I like Canada, but it's costing us $200 billion a year to support Canada. $200 billion. And I say, why are we doing that? You know what? We can make our own cars. We have more energy than they do. We have more energy than anybody in the world. We don't need their lumber, obviously. We have more lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We have a lot of everything that they sell us.
How to deal with Trump became one of the biggest issues in Canada. And the Liberals managed to leverage the anger against the American president. The big advantage that Carney had over his Conservative rival was that Pierre Poilievre's ideology is very similar to Trump's brand of Conservative politics. It worked when Trudeau was still in power. Canadians who were struggling with a housing and affordability crisis welcomed Poilievre's promise of returning to common sense politics. His political messaging borrowed liberally from the playbook of Trump and his MAGA base. But once Carney replaced Trudeau, Poilievre failed to find an effective idiom to take on both Trump and the Liberals.
Conservatives will work with the Prime Minister and all parties with the common goal of defending Canada's interests and getting a new trade deal that puts these tariffs behind us while protecting our sovereignty and the Canadian people.
Canadian Sikh leader Jagmeet Singh lost the seat that he had held in the Commons since 2019. Singh's New Democrats, which propped up Trudeau's minority government from 2021 to 2024, was hammered in the election. NDP lost its official status after failing to win a minimum 12 seats that are needed. Jagmeet Singh announced that he will step down as party leader.
Tonight, I've been informed a party leader that I'll be stepping down as party leader as soon as an interim leader can be appointed. Now, I could not have done this incredible job without, here's a point, give me a second to break down a bit.
Carney's first win as Prime Minister represents not just a personal triumph, but a broader affirmation of Canada choosing stability, sovereignty and pragmatism in the face of external pressure. Carney now faces the complex task of governing with a minority government. He has to address the affordability crisis He has to navigate an increasingly turbulent global environment, and all along there will be the ever-looming presence of Donald Trump.